We're here at Regulars in Toronto, and I had a chance to sit down with French photographer and filmmaker Kevin Couliau to talk about his love for the game and how he expresses it through his art. So everybody's got a little something that sparks like a little life in them. Passion, most people call it. Yours is photography, but specifically basketball photography. Why did you fall in love with that game specifically?
The reason why I fell in love are mystery to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I grew up with an older brother. He's 4 years older than me, and he took me to his basketball club in my hometown when I was 6 years old.
Okay.
And because he was playing there with a friend, and I don't know, like I started playing with them and fell in love with the game immediately and never quitted basketball. So yeah, I've been playing, like now I'm 36, for the 30 past years, playing the game, yeah, and my passion grew like just playing the game. And maybe with a few magazines or stuff, imagery I could steal here and there, but basically I'm a player more so than a fan.
But what about the game of photography? How did one and one come together?
Still my brother.
Okay.
So he was a professional skateboarder, and I grew up reading skateboarding magazines, like Trasher and Skateboarder, and I was just inspired by the creativity and the way they were documenting the sport. They composed their shots, taking in consideration the architecture more so than the athletes. So you end up like with real pieces of art,
Yes.
And that's what I kind of reproached to basketball back then, that when I was reading Slam or other magazines, like the photos weren't arty enough for me.
What makes your pieces stand out? How do we know that it's your name on those?
Composition, I guess. There's almost a religious approach to my compositions, that like, yeah, it's half architecture and half sport, so I always make sure that everything is like perfectly straight, the basketball hoop is at the center of the image, and the athlete is just here as an accessory almost.
Right.
And, yeah.
Interesting, that's an interesting take, because usually people are doing it the opposite way,
Yeah,
right? Where the
yeah.
athlete is the focus. Was there a moment where you're like, wow, like I've made it?
So this year I got the chance to spend a week in Athens with Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yes.
And this was for Nike and Wyden and Kennedy. To me, that was the dream job, because how often do you get to spend a week with an athlete in his homeland?
Working with such a big brand too.
Yeah,
Yep.
not on a specific event, but like really, like we were there to capture his life, his roots, where he came from, home playground, home club,
Right.
his first coach, his friends. So yeah, this was really like an in-depth trip, and just getting to know him.
That's awesome. Is there a piece of yours that's your favorite?
I mean, from this year, just Barack Obama.
Ooh, tell me about that.
So with Giants of Africa, we got to design a court, built it, and we had the chance to integrate the court with Barack Obama. And I got to shoot Barack Obama holding a basketball, and to me, it was a shot I was dreaming of for a personal project of mine. And yeah, GOA made it happen, so I'm like, yeah.
Cool. Can you tell me a little bit about your project in New York? Because you're also a filmmaker as well.
Being raised in Europe, we all like look up at New York as an influential city, and me growing up with basketball and skateboarding, it was like, okay, that's the mecca for both sports for me. And my first trip was in 2004, and I got the chance to meet an urban icon called Bobito Garcia.
Okay.
And in 2010, Bobito and I started doing a film called Doing It in the Park, about pickup basketball culture in New York, the history, the different games they have, like everything. So we went on a mission to document 180 basketball courts, interviewed 60 people, and for 3 years, yeah, that was our life, like doing this film. For me as a Frenchman, it's just like surreal, like
Yeah,
a lot of
especially
dreams.
when you're dreaming of it, as like when you're younger, and then seeing these things actually come to life. A lot of people dream about doing what you're doing. Is there kind of like a message that you want to come out of your photos, something that you want to be known for?
You know what? I started shooting empty basketball courts for years, so that was my my mission. I wanted to. I use this claim called it's the park is my church.
Yes.
Where,
that's your hashtag.
Yeah, that's my hashtag.
Yes.
Yeah, and because I think there's a religious aspect to the sport of basketball, and it's also a place where the basketball court is a place where you just like basically. When you're sad, you know, like you go there like just to forget all your troubles. So all this to me like has a particular meaning, even though I'm not a religious person.
Yes.
Like basketball is my religion.
Completely.
So maybe that's the message I'm trying to convey, I guess. Yeah.